Well, so this is Dan Bauer here, and I'm gonna cover one thing today, and that's gonna be Tesla vehicle production and deliveries and date for financial results and webcasts for the first quarter of 2024. All right, so on April 2nd, 2024, in the first quarter, we produced over 433,000 vehicles and delivered approximately 387,000 vehicles. We deployed 4,053 megawatts of energy storage products in Q1, the highest quarterly deployment yet. So that's a plus, right? Decline in volumes was partially due to the early phase of production ramp of the updated Model 3 at our Fremont factory and factory shutdowns resulting from shipping diversions caused by the Red Sea conflict and arson attack on the Giga Berlin factory. Now, okay, so they want to try to spin that in a positive way, right? But I don't know how you can spin that in a positive way because I mean that's 13 that's 46,000 vehicles that they did not sell. Okay. Off of the produced 433,000. So I mean you would want it to be closer to that 433,000 and say, look, we produced as many as we could and we sold almost all of them. Now that would be a better look. But what does this do for earnings? Oh, it's going to be down. I mean, think about it. They delivered let's think about it. They delivered almost 100,000 less cars because in, Q4 was like 484,000. Let's double check. All right, so yeah, they delivered 484,000 vehicles in Q4. So what I'm trying to get at here is, all right, so yeah, it's good that they, have deployed more megawatts of energy storage products. That's a big deal. All right. But what does this say about demand? You know what I mean? About demand for Tesla's cars and Tesla's products. Ouch. Right? A big old ouch. That's abs- that's absolutely disgusting. You know what I mean? Think about that. That's really bad. Really, really bad. Due in part that, like, let's be real honest. The consumer is hurting right now and rates are not helping. The only thing that I see out there right now that is giving Tesla any love is that gas prices are going right back up. Crude oil is going right back up. Um, you know, that's that's the one thing that Tesla has going for it right now is that crude oil is jumping again. You see, it's rolling up. All right, and it's going in the summer months, and so that's going to make people want to buy electric vehicles because the gas prices are absurd and outrageous. All right, so there's that. But let's be 100% honest here. 386,810 total deliveries. Man, that hurts. The revenue for the company is going to be down dramatically. Maybe 20 billion. Maybe, you know what I mean? I mean, how much volume? That's a that's like 20% decrease, somewhere in that neighborhood, right around the 20% range, year over year, or not year over year, but quarter over quarter. Year over year, it's not that. Year over year, it's a much smaller number, but still, it's quite ugly. There's no way to spin that in a positive perspective in all reality. It all comes down to what happens on the earnings call. Are we seeing demand pick back up? Are what's happening? How's Cybertruck doing? What's happening with Optimus? What's the guidance look like? Where's margins at? Are margins troughing? At some point you got to think about like how bad this could actually get. Now, is this a buying opportunity? Is Tesla demand going to come back? That's the biggest question. You know what I'm saying? Is Tesla demand going to come back? And I think it will. Um, the 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 one thing you have to understand and think about right here, right now, is this. this particular moment and instant, is that they are pushing the EV initiative. They keep continuing to pass legislation, and these other vehicle companies are going to be forced into the EV market, which may or may not hurt Tesla, but it may also solidify Tesla as the leader here in the US. And as more electric vehicles are being sold, Tesla is going to be the electric vehicle of choice. So there's that. But I don't know that there's any way to spin quarter over quarter decline of nearly 100,000 units delivered. The Model 3 and Model Y was 369,783 deliveries. That's, that's far less than the production. It's over 40,000 less than the production. Now, on the Model S and X and the Cybertruck, they sold 17,000 out of 20,000, about 21,000, right? So 4,000 difference. Now that's what you might really want to see. They're probably selling every single Cybertruck. Yeah, this can't be spent in any sort of a positive way whatsoever, and that sucks. But you know what? I think in the long run, Tesla has a promising future, and you can't just get caught up on how ugly it is here and think that that's what is going to transpire for ever and ever. I continue to see more and more Teslas on the road. So that tells me that, yeah, there are people still buying Teslas. I want to buy a Tesla just because gas prices are freaking ridiculous. And you know what I mean? It's not so much that I don't want any gas power car, but it's more so like my commuter to and from work is starting to look like, an electric vehicle would be the preferred option for myself, and maybe along the way more people. You know what I mean? Because these gas prices are absurd, and inflation is absurd, and it's hurting people across the board, not just transportation problems, but like every groceries, all that. And you have to think about, like, people are going to find ways and look for ways to save money, to cut costs. But what's really hurting Tesla at the moment is rates are so high. But rates are only so high because we had them for so long, so we had them so low for so long, right? Let's look at it in this perspective. Everybody got used to the cheap rates, the cheap money. Okay. Obviously, the economy's hurting because Tesla is seeing more as like a luxury type deal. Unless it's a necessity thing. But at the same time, you have to think of it like, geez Louise, that's the big hurt. That's the big hurt, you know what I mean? But I don't know. That's probably all I got on the situation here. That's ugly. We'll see how the stock price reacts. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going down. But, if Tesla continues to execute, which I believe they will over time, the prices on the stock here today, next week, a couple weeks from now, is probably going to be, some of the cheapest you're going to be able to get shares at, right? I don't know if you keep that idea about it all, you know what I mean, then maybe you're in a good position at the final, at the final days of how you want to invest on this, or if you did invest, or maybe you don't want to invest in Tesla, who knows? But wow, that's really bad. I mean, not even to hit 400,000 in deliveries is the worst number they've had in, well, quite a few quarters. Let's go back. Let's go back and let's see, let's go back and see, what the deliveries were for the end of 2022. We'll see how far back we got to find before we can figure out, Yeah. So Q4 of 2022 was 405,000 units. So, the third quarter produced 365 and delivered 300. So really to find a quarter that was less than what they did produce was Q3 of 2022. So we're talking a span of what, you know, five straight quarters of better than what they just put out. I mean, there's no positive way to really spin that. It's going to get ugly for the stock, but you buy in the ugly, especially if it's a company you believe in, especially if you think, these semis, the Cybertruck, the energy business, Optimus is all going to come to fruition, FSD and so forth, when that starts happening. And that's why they, I think, decided to give everybody a free month trial free FSD or free trial on full self-driving. This new full self-driving is, they wanted to get more people to test drive the full self-driving, I'm assuming. You know what I mean? And then that might get more people into the dealerships or the Tesla. Yeah, I guess you call them dealerships. And maybe you'll get more intrigued by it. You know what I mean? By the product. But yeah, kind of down on that. But I believe there are brighter days, and so we shall see. That's all I got.